If you would please bow your head for a moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for giving us this day, for the beautiful weather. Thank you for this wonderful county and for all the people who dedicate their lives to protect us and our first responders and just all the people that give so much, our county employees, just everybody that works here for the county. Lord, thank you so much for them. Please be with us today as we're talking budget, making decisions for our county, that you just give us wisdom, guide and direct all of our steps, and help us to make wise decisions. And I do pray for the people of Israel and that whole situation, Lord. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. It's heartbreaking.
Okay, has everyone got their microphones on?
Yes, sir.
And please silence your cell phones and all that good stuff. With that, I'll call the meeting of October 13th, 2023 to order. And I'll ask for approval of the minutes from the 8:30 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, usual sign. Okay, and then I'll ask for approval of the 8:31 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay, moving along, we have the Turkey Creek Dam and Dike Conservancy budget adoption.
I voted for the motion.
There's something funny.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution and appropriations of the tax rate.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay,
it. So I think we probably need to read what it is that we adopted.
okay.
So what we adopted, their adopted budget is $313,200. And they're showing that also as their levy at .0267.
Okay, next up, we have the solid waste budget adoption. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Again, are we reading what we're approving?
So do I need to read the adopted levy is the adopted budget? Do I put the 440,093 and the adopted tax rate is .0039 and the adopted tax levy is 275,272.
Okay, next up, we have the county budget adoption. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to
I
approve.
have one thing I'd like to share before we get to that, if I could. Some of you know that I have looked into what we gave Stillwater for this year. And there are 11 counties. I polled all 11 counties. None of the counties are giving any money to Stillwater for their services. We have budgeted $50,000. I'm not feeling very good about Kosciuszko County putting $50,000 in their bucket when no other county is giving any tax dollars to support them. So I don't know that we've ever done this, but I would like to remove that from the budget with the understanding that, you know, if next year they came back and had funding from other places, we might consider it.
Could
Okay.
I make a comment, or did you want to go ahead and speak?
Go ahead.
Oh, I did talk to Glenn today, and I talked to him about that, and I realized that none of the other counties are supporting them, but we're supporting them because we were supporting the not-for-profit that they replaced. And he basically said that he would, you know, do whatever he could to verify that the funds would stay in Kosciuszko County and would be used in Kosciuszko County, and that if we made any kind of motion to qualify approving the budget with the idea that they need to come back and show us that the funds are staying in Kosciuszko County, he said that he would be fine with that. So I don't know how you guys feel about that.
But didn't you ask that of him 30 to 60 days ago?
Right, and I talked with Mary Shankster, who is the lady who's responsible. And she sent me a list of the number of people that are being serviced. I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do. That's just my feelings.
I would feel better if we were to grant them the money this year with the understanding that we would really like to see support from the other counties involved. And that we really would like the money to stay in Kosciuszko County.
I actually like Kathy's idea of doing it contingent on them giving us some numbers and giving them an actual deadline. Because like Savannah's mentioned, we've asked for that several times. So I don't know, what do you think, Savannah? I mean, would you be agreeable to keeping it if we gave them a deadline?
You guys make your motion. I just shared what I thought.
I mean, go ahead.
So Tony, you had something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say the same thing. Couldn't we approve the budget with that money in there with a contingency that we can always remove it between now and the time the budget starts in 2024?
We could.
Yeah. if
And
they
I'd like to
can't.
make that motion to do that.
Okay, so Joni,
Wait.
you withdraw your motion on the county budget?
Yeah, but it's okay. I'll
okay.
withdraw it.
Okay,
But the contingency that they show us, the,
Yeah. So I'd like to
Numbers.
make the motion that we adopt the budget with $50,000 for Stillwater, contingent that they provide us with documentation that all money from that $50,000 will be spent locally in Kosciuszko County by our next county council meeting in November.
And I'll second that.
okay, so the motion on the floor is only dealing with the Stillwater portion, the change in the Stillwater portion, or the clarification of the county budget for 2024.
My only comment is that we're looking at $50,000 for 2024. They cannot spend $50,000 between now and the next council meeting in 2024, since that's fiscally impossible. So are you saying that you want proof that in 2023,
So then in
they,
2024, they will be spending that money here and how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, when I talked to him, I mean, I asked him about what their expenses and stuff were. And, you know, some of it is also having an office here and having staff here so they can be more immediate in their response. And I think as far as Stillwater goes, I don't think it dawned on them because they were, you know, they purchased Kosciuszko Home,
Home care and
Health,
hospice.
whatever. Anyway, so they're like, wow, you mean we could ask for money? So I do think that they're going to go to the other counties and request funding as well.
And to me, that's fine if they go ask the other counties give them money, but I'd still would
Right.
like to have proof that the money we give them
Right.
is spent locally and not
Agreed.
in those other 10 or 11 counties.
Yeah.
oh, Savannah, were you asking for a proof of 23 or 24? Were you
What I-
saying?
Probably both.
What I had asked them
What you would
for,
ask for specifically, because I know you've had
when it
multiple.
merged.
Correct,
When
which
it
was-
merged, what I
was-
asked for, an accounting of what they were doing. And at budget time, I asked for it.
Correct.
And there was nothing.
Isn't that like June or July?
I did speak with
Yeah.
Mary Shankster. She was gone. She was out of town. She couldn't share anything. The only thing she could share with me was that they got ARPA money from Allen County, from Fort Wayne. And I said, well, that's not an annual contribution. And she said, no, she knew that wasn't, but that she was going to ask all the cities and towns and all the counties. And I said, well, if you ask all of those, you're double dipping, because the same people are either paying into the cities or paying into the county. So you'd be taking money from two entities that part of those people are already paying.
Did you say that they did give you an accounting as to how many people in Kosciuszko County? What was that number? I didn't hear it.
30.
30?
So if you look at that way, 32, 32, 28. 30.
I guess at this point, I would like to receive a motion here on the county budget adoption with any wishes ideas, thoughts on how you wanted to treat the Stillwater portion of it, so that we can move forward.
Okay, well, you have a motion and a second on the floor.
Well, I think the motion was only dealing with the Stillwater portion of it.
No, it was to adopt the county budget.
Okay.
With Stillwater still in it, contingent that they provide us documentation that the money that they will receive will only be spent in Kosciuszko County.
Okay, I stand corrected. Do we have a second?
And I second that.
Okay, we have a motion, and a second. All those in favor, usual sign. Those opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Okay, we'd be remiss if we didn't say what we just
How?
approved as far as dollars. Tony? General budget.
It's on the green, it's on the green sheet. Oh. It's on the green.
Oh. Maybe the one that doesn't have a title. Here's our budget.
What was, I can tell you, what was adopted, the adopted budget for those things that figure into the tax rates, as they've got it split up on this sheet, is 50,808. And then the balance of the funds was 25,765,364, which makes the total of the 75,857,172. That's what was appropriated. It's not what's going to be taxed, but it's what was appropriated. And that leaves the tax rate at .2816.
Okay. Ready to move forward? Okay, let's, next line is county salary ordinance adoption.
Constantly changing piece of paper. Do we do the amendments first, Sue Ann, and then the salary adoption?
No, because those amendments are all for '23, I believe.
Okay. So the 2024 salary ordinance, everyone has a copy of it. The green highlighted are new items. And I make a motion that we approve the salary ordinance as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor, usual sign. Okay. Next up, Alan. Quarterly update.
Quarterly update. Good evening, council members. I will be brief, and I know you've got a busy agenda. So we don't have our quarterly report yet done for the third quarter since it's early in the fourth quarter. We're just, a week and a half in. However, we do have this progress report that looks at 12 months, our last 12 months of work throughout the county, and sets a leave behind. And if there's any questions or things you'd like me to talk more about, either offline or at a following meeting, happy to do so. I do want to share, I guess, just a couple of key things, though, I've been thinking about one of our initiatives, and then also some feedback on what's happening statewide that I heard from a session this week in Fort Wayne. And so let me start there. So setting the table for why we do what we do at some level in economic development, the state of Indiana is working very hard at the state level through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation to get us ahead as a state, and gave us a couple of kind of things to think about. From our Secretary of Commerce, David Rosenberg, there's about $1 trillion of foreign direct investment floating around, looking for where to land in our country. We want Indiana to see more of that coming to our state than other places we compete with. If it's Ohio, or we compete with North Carolina, we compete with other places. We've seen announcements recently. Kokomo yesterday awarded their second battery facility. Each of those facilities more than $3 billion of assessed value coming to the community. We've seen that's the fourth battery facility to announce are locating in the state. There are 3 or 4 semiconductor facilities. We want to make sure, here locally, that what we're doing is helping to position ourselves to be ready to bring more of that kind of investment maybe not to that scale, but still that we're able to participate and we don't miss those opportunities. Because something else that the Secretary of Commerce said is that speed is the new incentive. It's not the dollars. When these projects have a lot of zeros behind them and take a lot of time to complete, it's at some level, if we're competing with Ohio and Virginia and North Carolina, the costs are about the same. It's going to be how quickly can we help them get to market. And so we think about us working with Redevelopment Commission, working with the city, the towns throughout the county on having shovel-ready sites, having, looking at corridor scale planning, looking at quality of life amenities, working on housing, on talent recruitment. It's all to help us be ready so that we can go after, when there is an opportunity, that we can turn those opportunities into success stories. So it's just a quick kind of recap from, this was the Engage Indiana luncheon at the, that was held at, it was a Northeast Indiana event, had the Secretary of Commerce and a few others. I know Bob Vito from OrthoWorks was on a panel. So we have a lot to contribute to what's happening statewide. And so appreciate, I guess, long way around the barn, all the work that the county puts into helping us be ready for those opportunities. So one very kind of grassroots level area we focus on is being ready to support entrepreneurs. And so I know we've spoken before many times about the support for entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship, that when people have a choice of where to start a company and or whether to start a company, do they take that leap, that risk of starting a new business, that they know that we're here to help and that we're ready to help support them along the way. That is a risky undertaking. So we are working with a number of other organizations, the city, the county chamber, OrthoWorks, to help really establish a coalition of all the different groups that support entrepreneurs. And then we'll work to establish a new role, I call it the Entrepreneur Navigator role, to help provide a single point of contact for entrepreneurs so they can then find the resources. And then ideally, that leads to us having a countywide, I'm going to call it a brand, but some kind of front door for entrepreneurs. If we were to look at other communities in the state that are known for supporting entrepreneurs, in Fishers, Indiana, they've placed a marker. They want to be the most entrepreneurial city in the state. Launch Fishers is probably known as the best entrepreneur organization in the state. In Bloomington, it's a group called The Mill. In Lafayette, it's Matchbox. In Indianapolis, you have a few of them. I mean, every community has an organizational kind of front door, a name, a person that you go to and that you build around. So we're embarking on that effort. It'll be a place that you can house the entrepreneurs, the social events we host, the accelerator programs that the county has helped us to fund. If we can work toward at some point having more co-working space, an innovation center kind of space. So that's a very grassroots level, but also it fits into that message that having, that we're ready when those opportunities do come forward. So a couple of updates, again, from the Secretary of Commerce and his remarks a few days ago, from what we're doing locally as entrepreneurs, and there's a lot in between. Again, I'll share the progress report, happy to maybe chat offline, any updates or questions, but I'll say every time, we appreciate the county's support and leadership helping us continue to move forward.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks,
Thank you all.
Alan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, next up is Systems Administrator Bob Momeyer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, I'm here tonight to request transfer from our computer equipment fund to the computer repairs and software fund, the amount of $50,000.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you, Bob.
All right.
Next up, Ann Torpy.
Good
Good evening.
Hi, Ann.
Hi, I'm here to request approval to apply for a grant through the Secretary of State's office. I wanted to clarify something. The title looks a little this is the grant that was awarded to the Secretary of State. They set aside $2 million for the counties to apply to use for voter outreach, voter misinformation when it comes to elections, things that the counties can do at a county level. So I'm applying through that, for that portion to help our county try to get the younger voters out. So we have some programs that we are wanting to look into. videos that we can post online, a texting service that they can get information on how to register to vote, how to get a ballot, things like that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, second. And thank you for doing
We have a
this.
motion and a second. Usual sign. Thank you, Ann.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
okay.
50,000?
Yes, 50,000. The minimum that they will award if all counties apply for the grant is 21,000. So they want us to at least ask for the most amount that we need, and then the minimum we could receive is 21.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, EMA Director Kip Shooter, a grant request for $55,000.
Yep, good evening.
Good evening.
Asking for your permission to apply for the Emergency Management Performance Grant. It covers the period of 2023, the pay for the director, deputy director, when I had that position, and the administrative assistant. Total is $55,000 based on our population, and there's no match.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you, Kip.
Thank you.
Next is KCC RVC Board, Mark Sabowski. Good evening.
Good evening.
No boat tonight.
What's that?
There's no boat tonight.
No boat tonight, not boating tonight. So I'm here to ask for approval to transfer for $200,000 from our cash and investment account for use this year, for grants this year, into our grant fund. We've had a series of grants that exceeded what we had budgeted for this year. We're about 50,000 overdrawn, overcommitted at this point. We're asking for the additional 150 plus or minus for our next meeting in November. If we don't spend it, we don't spend it. It'll stay in the cash account.
Is this the second request for additional funds for the grants?
No, I was here to do the budget,
No, months before.
not that I recall.
Okay.
And this is just approval to spend your money that you have.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and keep your
Yes,
tax.
it's not an
Okay.
additional appropriation. It's money that we have in the savings account.
I make a motion to approve the 200,000 that was asked for.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, usual sign. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mark. Next up is Prosecutor's Office, Salary Ordinance Amendment.
Thank you, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Evening.
I'd like to make a motion, please, to take all the chairs in this courtroom and move them to the back row. I feel a little left out, there wasn't space for me tonight. I'm here to ask for your approval of the 2023 salary ordinance for the prosecutor's investigative position. Glad to explain it if you have any questions, but I think the first paragraph of the ordinance explains what we're asking for. It's in the amount of $54,288. It's actually really just an additional approximately $2,500.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm here to ask for an additional appropriation, please, from the Victims of Crime Act grant. It's our quarterly request to move that money. It's what we use to pay our prosecutors' victim assistance, Linda Schuster.
So moved.
And this is just your money, you're just moving it?
It is.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Health Administrator Bob Weaver. Good evening, Bob.
This is, I think we need more paper.
We've had a vacant position in the health department, registrar/bookkeeper, for 5 to 6 months now. And I've been very fortunate to be able to hire an individual to fill that position. This person has well over 10 years of bookkeeping experience in the banking industry. And I'd like to have a amendment to the 23 salary ordinance, so I'd be able to pay her at the 3-year level.
Any questions?
Start her at the 3-year level.
Any questions for Bob?
Is that the 38,571 annual?
Correct.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor? Okay, then you have a transfer request. looks like.
A transfer from the food position to the bookkeeping position to pay that throughout the rest of the year.
I'll
Make a motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks.
Okay, next up is ARPA committee recommendations. Who would like to handle that?
Oh, wait, a minute. No, we're doing
We
the
skipped the
sheriff.
We should skip the,
Please don't skip the sheriff.
wait, no, it depends on which agenda you're on.
Okay,
Excuse me?
mine says sheriff.
Mine says.
Oh, mine doesn't.
Mine says ARPA.
Mine says
Mine says-
ARPA.
Mine says sheriff.
I have the new updated version. Mine says ARPA.
Well, we'd have different agendas
Oh,
for
here-
different
yeah,
people.
here's this one.
So much fun.
No, there's
But I don't care. How do you want to handle it?
Sheriff's not even on this.
Yeah, sheriff's on
No,
the
it's on this
updated
one.
one.
It's on this
The
one.
updated one at the top,
right here.
the second page.
Okay.
I'm lost.
The man
Here
has
you
a
go.
gun,
Hey.
let him go first.
Here you go.
Who wrote this up?
This one with the sheriff's on it was a new one for tonight, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. I must have the old one then. Good evening, Sheriff.
Good evening, council.
Now you,
Hello,
now you have
Sheriff.
to give it back so I can make notes.
You can only look at it, you can't have it.
Now I'm back in the dark. I have the old one.
So I'm coming before you tonight for salary ordinance amendment for a part-time sex offender registrar for $22.75 an hour. And also the salary ordinance for civil process server. I'm going to group them in two because I believe they were approved at the same time earlier this year from the wage committee. That one will be for $47,320. And that one's going to call for a transfer out of our part-time budget. So I don't know if you want to do the transfer separate or not, but
Let's go ahead and I make a motion to approve the first two salary ordinance amendments for the part-time sex violent offender registrar
Second.
and the civil process server.
Still a second, Ken?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay.
And lastly, the two SRO positions that were recently approved by you, the council, we needed transfers to encompass and support those positions. And so we've transferred from several different buckets to make that work. Part-time bucket being one of them from the sheriff's budget. And the sheriff report coordinator bucket as well, and I feel like I'm missing one here.
They're here. Okay. I make a motion to approve the salary ordinance amendment for the deputy SROs at 54,975.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor? Okay, so now we'll need
Then
to
I
do
Transfers.
the transfers.
And I have, make a motion for the funds transfers, the 3,200 from part-time, the 7,400 from the sheriff's report coordinator account, and 10,600 from the sheriff's deputy account, 11103. Two. And $3,831 from the sheriff's part-time account.
Thank you.
I'll second that. Oh, you got it.
We have a motion from Kim, second from Kathy. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me see. Okay, now we can go to ARPA.
There you go.
Good evening, Marcia.
Good evening. I have a couple items here to do with ARPA. Let's start with the committee recommendations. Wagon wheel was recommended for $250,000 or $350,000, and it went to the commissioners, and the commissioners approved $250,000 for the wagon wheel. Joe's Kids was $121,000. $121,503, and the YMCA was $100,000. And that was the committee recommendations, and that's what was approved by the county commissioners.
I'd like to make a motion on the first one, the wagon wheel improvements, that we approve what the commissioners approved of the $250,000 for ARPA funds.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Those opposed? Okay. Joe's Kids, then let's have a motion and a second on that.
I'll make a motion to accept the committee's recommendation on Joe's Kids.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second on Joe's Kids for $121,503. All those in favor? Okay, and the last one's the YMCA. Do we have a motion?
I'll move we approve the $100,000 for their security system.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Sue Ann, a second from
Dave, that's fine.
Dave. All those in favor?
I'm going to abstain from that vote.
All those opposed?
Time.
Did it pass?
It's time.
Tie vote.
That means you vote, right?
Huh?
That means you vote,
No, he
I already
voted.
vote. It's tie vote. So does it die? Okay. Or is YMCA lost? Okay. Additional appropriations, Marcia, I see that you have $350,000 for wagon
Yeah,
wheel.
that was advertised before the commissioners' vote was taken, so that would be for the $250,000 that you approved in your last vote.
Okay,
And then the others would stand as red.
Well, Joe's would be approved, but YMCA died, right?
Right.
yes, YMCA died. So do you want to handle the wagon wheel at $250 and the Joe's Kids at $121,503?
Yeah, I'll add
Is
that.
one motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor? Okay, thank you.
That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you.
You doing the community coordinator,
Marcia?
Marcia? Sorry.
I'll catch you after.
What, David? Joe's Kids,
No, because we had,
additional appropriations.
Okay, all right, okay. That's what
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay,
What is all of this?
wrong agenda again, Marcia. I guess you're still up.
Okay, so, the salary ordinance amendment for the community coordinator, that position has been approved and moved to a full-time position. So that would be, approved at $51,675 annually.
Motion to approve, effective October 12th. That's what it's stated.
Okay?
I think that's our anniversary.
I thought we were doing it for 2024.
It was, and 2023, from October 12th through 12/31.
We already approved it for 24 in the budget.
Right. So this
So
is
this
a
is
standalone.
finishing out.
Just to finish
Okay.
out this year.
Okay,
Okay? Okay.
got it.
My motion stands.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second, Kimberly?
I'll second that.
Oh, Sue Ann will second. Okay, all those in favor?
Can we go home now?
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you.
Okay, so I was just handed some more salary ordinance amendments, so I believe I'm covering those, and I'm just going to read it to make sure we're all on the same page. Whereas, this is for maintenance, it has to do with housekeeping. It says, whereas the Kosciuszko County Council adopted the 2023 salary ordinance October 12th of 2022, Wage Committee is moving the housekeeping positions to the LTC 4-2 on the comment chart to be more competitive. This would be effective October 12th, 2023. This position, 11068, in the maintenance budget for housekeeping would be adopted at $33,345 annually, which is an hourly rate of $17.10.
Marcia, I'm not sure it matters, but it is an LTC 5-2, just not a 4-2.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was my last one.
Well, good.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Okay, I have another one here. It would be in the same regards. This is a housekeeping position that was adopted at the 2023 salary ordinance, October 12th of 2022. The Wage Committee is moving the housekeeping positions to the LTC 5-1 to be more competitive. This would be effective October 12th, 2023. So it is in the 11069, the maintenance budget. Housekeeping, which would be an annual salary of $31,824 at a rate of $16.32 an hour.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Okay, I have one more. Whereas the Kosciuszko County, this is the assessors. Do you want me to just go ahead and do that while I'm here?
No. No, it's not for, I think that's just a mistype. We don't have any housekeepers in the assessors.
No, it was labeled the assessor.
Okay.
It's okay. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all I have.
We are
That's the
moving the
part-time.
part-time, Marcia. It's just the part-time.
Okay, this is the part, yes, it's just mislabeled at the top of the paper. It is maintenance. It is for housekeeping. Everything stays the same, adopted 2023. The salary ordinance, October 12th of 2022. Wage Committee is moving the housekeeping positions to the LTC 5 chart to be more competitive. This will be effective October 12th, 2023. This is for 11316 in the maintenance budget, which is part-time housekeeping at a rate of $17.10.
Which makes it equal to the full-time pay, which we're trying to bring those all up, thanks to Sue Ann's hard work on that, and thank you, Marcia. I make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Thank
you,
you. I'm
Marcia.
very appreciative of the Wage Committee, the council. We do have someone coming in on Monday, an additional housekeeper, so it's something to be celebrated here. And I'm sure as we continue to move forward and trying to hire a couple more, that those pay increases will be most helpful. hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Auditor, Rhonda.
So we have just one item for encumbering for September, $21,228.29.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
And I just wanted to remind you that we have our tax sale tomorrow here in this room at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any further business? And I have a note here of Joni who wants to update us on the redevelopment commission.
Yes, I do, sir. The redevelopment commission at our last meeting agreed to contract the company Avon Marsh to do a study of the 1300 corridor. As you know, we have spent a lot of county taxpayer dollars and highway dollars trying to improve that area, and felt it was prudent at this point to at least have someone take a look at that area and see what the best use or the possible uses are of that ground and surrounding area. We had 2 competitive bids, and we chose to go with Avon Marsh. And we are very excited. They have an office in Goshen, and the Christie is her name, that will be our point person on that. And she has extensive experience. She has served on redevelopment commissions. She also has worked on the side of Avon Marsh, where they actually walk through the projects. And more details will be forthcoming, but we are in the very, very preliminary stages. At this point, we are trying to assemble a group of people to help her and to be like a sounding board. And they will include the highway department, our area plan, 2 redevelopment commission members. Several other departments have been asked or are going to be asked to be on that steering committee to help start that project, and more details will be forthcoming. But the money is generated by TIF funds. It is taxpayer company corporate dollars that have been paid and held in there for improvements in that area. And that's the money that we're using to pay for the contract, and it came in at 59,000 plus a little change. So we were very happy with the bid that they proposed, and if you're interested, I'd be happy to send that to everyone so that you can see that. Yes, okay. I will email that or have Rhonda email that out since we have it electronically. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joni.
Mike?
Yes, Tony.
One thing. I would like to take a minute to thank my fellow council members for your outpouring support and the beautiful flowers you sent when my father passed away.
You're very welcome, Tony. Okay. With that, anything else before the council? Now I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you.